edition of the Tech Connect. We've been meaning to have this for a while, but we just haven't put things together. But I think this one's going to be the first of many to follow. So for today's Tech Connect, what we have in the agenda is the introduction of the new marketplace features that we have for you all, which is essentially the new crypto marketplace that we're launching very shortly, the Panini Wallet. That is also the new edition. And once that's done, we have a few technical questions that we want to answer, and then a feature roadmap going into the next 2 quarters. So that's what we have in terms of the agenda for today. Let me quickly get started off with the new marketplace side. So as you'll have been getting a few teasers from Jayhawk and the rest of the team, we have now implemented a new section within the Panini marketplace, which is essentially going to be dealing with the crypto side. And also the marketplace has a wallet feature that's been introduced. So let me just quickly take you all through it. This is a third section. We have the public auction and the public gallery. The crypto market is going to be an addition to that, which would be a third feature within the marketplace. Let me quickly show you all that part, and then I'll show you all how a user would list their products in the marketplace and buy and sell products over there. So this flow that I'm showing you all is that of a seller trying to list his product into the crypto marketplace. It's going to be very similar to what we have on the current setup. The main difference is going to be here. So we currently have the public auction and the public gallery, which works with PayPal. The new addition is going to be the crypto market. The crypto market is going to be a buy now feature, which is going to be introduced with the Panini Wallet, which means that users have the option to fill in their Panini Wallet and then try and purchase products on the marketplace for this section with the Panini Wallet. So just to give you all a quick update in terms of the crypto market itself, the idea is to have the Panini Wallet go on for the crypto market first. That's phase 1, which we're launching short. List your NFT into the crypto market. It's as simple as what you've been doing now. Go ahead, click the crypto market side. Set your terms, whatever your buy now price is. And like I mentioned earlier, this is going to be a buy now only. This is not going to be an auction format. So yeah, as simple as that. Once you confirm your products, your NFT is then listed on the crypto market side. Now, the other piece that we've all been waiting for, which is the ability for users to buy packs. So we just listed a card there. I'm going to show how you can buy this product as a buyer. When you come in, how do you buy this product? And also now we have the ability to sell your packs and buy packs as well. So it's going to be on the same section. You can switch. It's a quick switch over tab, and then you can switch over to the pack section, come in and buy your packs as well. So this is an ability that will be launched with the new crypto market, where users can start selling their packs and start buying some of those old packs that you've been waiting for a while now to sell. All right, so let's go to the buy flow. So on the buy side, this is where you would buy any of the products on the crypto market with your funds in the Panini Wallet. So if you see this example, the user is short of funds. So he's got $50 in his Panini Wallet. He needs to have 150, so it's an insufficient fund. So that's where I'll take you all to the wallet flow as well, just to show you all how things work over there. All right. So let me just pause here for a second and give you all a little bit of history on the Panini Wallet side. So the Panini Wallet, with this, we've evaluated over 22 vendors, and we then narrowed it down to about 2 vendors who were situated in the US, and we've then narrowed it down further, and we finally gone ahead with BitPay as a vendor. One of the primary reasons that we went with BitPay is the number of wallets within the app that they support. So that makes it a lot more easier for users when they already have an existing wallet, with say like a MetaMask or any other wallet service they've been using in the past. Most of those are already supported by BitPay, so it becomes a lot easier to then start using BitPay. So yeah, that was one of the criteria that we had. Not to say that was the only criteria, but there were several others. But this was an important one for us to go and choose the BitPay option. While we're here, let me also pause and give you all a quick update on where we are on the development timeline and what state we are in currently in terms of the launch. So in terms of the dev activity, as of today, we've completed the development activity for both the new crypto market as well as the wallet side. What we're waiting on with the recent development in the crypto market, a wallet provider needs to now have a money transmitter license, and that's being filed, and Panini is waiting on the approval of those licenses. So that's the holdup. So the licenses have already been filed in various states in the US, and once those are approved, that we are due to go ahead and launch this, barring a few tests on the productions. But yeah, on the development side, we're completed, and as I said, we're waiting on more of legal approvals to come through so that we can launch the wallet. Quick glimpse into the wallet. So we've tried to keep it as simple as we could. So you have the deposit window. This is where a user would go and to fill in their wallet. You have the withdrawal section, and then you have the activity history. If you go over to your left, you have your available balance, and that's split into your main balance and your promotional balance. Now, this promotional balance is going to be used by Panini for, if there are any refunds, if there are any promotional subject areas that Panini wants to promote this. So these are the areas where the promotional balance will be used. Promotional balance cannot be withdrawn. That can only be used for purchases on the site. You have a lock balance. Lock balance would be for amounts which are locked in any purchases, or if you have an active withdrawal in place, that would be your lock balance. And that adds up to the total balance that you see on the wallet. Right. So in the earlier flow that you saw, there was $100 that was needed to complete a purchase. So let's try and see how those funds are added on. This is where you get redirected to the BitPay side. Like I said, there's a ton of wallets that they support. So these are just a few examples of the wallets that's supported. For the sake of the presentation, we've used MetaMask and Ethereum. So a user has 15 minutes to complete their payment. So you're automatically redirected, and your transaction should be completed now. These transactions take about 30 seconds to a minute for it to reflect, or for us to get a call back. Usually it's real time, but it could take up to 30 seconds to a minute for it to reflect on the site. So when you come back to your Panini site, you're going to notice that it may already be completed, or it might be in a processing state. So in about 30 seconds, that should get completed. Right. So you have your deposit. Now you can go and complete that purchase transaction. So we'll also do a withdrawal flow. So for a withdrawal flow, there is a requirement for users to complete a KYC on the site, and the KYC process is quite simple. As you come in the first time, there is an email that we send you, and you just need to follow the steps in the email. So the KYC step is to validate your email itself. The second process is to put in a receiving address where you would be receiving your funds, and the third process is to do a document check where you load a document and do a quick selfie check. The whole thing takes about a minute and is fairly simple to get completed. Yeah, you don't have to go with the wallet options here. You can also use in a different wallet option listed here. the wallet address. Once this is saved, this is where your withdrawals would go to. And then, yeah, so your withdrawals are now set. So if you need to change it, you need to go back to the BitPay site and you can get that changed. And like I was mentioning earlier, for phase 1, which is the immediate launch, we would only be supporting withdrawal to your crypto wallet. And in phase 2 is when we'll be introducing withdrawal to banks and also a wide variety of countries that we're supporting in terms of withdrawals to banks as well. So that'll be our phase 2 in terms of the addition to the wallet. In addition to this, let's just do the completion of the withdrawal flow. So the withdrawal flow goes through, at least in the beginning, like where we would have, once the user requests for a withdrawal, there would be verification that's done by the Panini finance team. And this process can take anywhere between an hour to up to 3 business days. And once the verification is completed, the user would get an OTP to their mail. That OTP needs to be entered on the site, and that completes the withdrawal process. The withdrawal happens in 2 windows at the BitPay end. You have one window which is 10 a.m. and the other one which is 5 p.m. in the evening. So depending on when you initiate your withdrawal, the closest window would be where your payout is triggered at. All right, so this is where you can see your withdrawal process. The activity history is your one-stop shop for everything that you've done on the crypto market, say your deposits, your withdrawals, your purchases, and your sales. All of those can be seen in the activity history site. Now, apart from this, in order to help all the users who are first-time users of the crypto site, we have updated our FAQ section. We have a pretty elaborate FAQ section now, dealing especially with the Panini Wallet, the BitPay side. We've got a lot of screenshots in there that's going to help you, in case you're a first-time user of this. So this one's pretty elaborate. We've tried to make sure that most of the questions that you'll have are already answered. If there's anything that you'll feel is missing, we would definitely go ahead and add them on as a part of an ongoing process. So yeah, that was a quick, quick glimpse of what's coming up. Like I said, just before I get into the Q&A side, just to give you all a recap on the progress and the dates. Right now, we are dev completed. We've finished our final rounds of testing on our test environment. The only thing that's remaining for us to test is to test a few transactions on the production side. Apart from that, the features are completed. What we're waiting on is that with the recent development in the crypto side, there is a requirement for all wallet holders to have a money transmitter license in place. And that's something that Panini has already filed for, and we're waiting on approvals of those. So as soon as those are done is when we'll be going in for launch. I don't have an exact time on those, but we're still trying to see that we can hit the Q2 timeline. If not, we might be delayed by a week or so here and there, mainly because these approvals are a little beyond our control in terms of getting those in place. So yeah, that's where we stand in terms of the new feature and the timeline on these. In terms of the question and answers, we got a lot of good questions on the AMA side. I don't think we'll be able to go through all of those, but we are trying to answer some of the questions that have been repeating over and over. So that's something that I'm going to try and answer. And for the questions that probably have not been answered today, I will try my best to try and answer them either as a part of a separate Q&A or just as a part of our regular chat on the AMA side or a different channel that we bring up. So one question that's been coming up quite often is the fact that why are there only 6 nodes, and is that good enough for running our ecosystem? And does that mean that there's only 6 copies of the ledger, and is there a plan to scale this network up? And what are those plans? So I think this was one question that we definitely wanted to address, and then clear out any ambiguities that are there around these. So let me just draw your attention towards our architecture. So this is our Panini blockchain architecture on the Hyperledger Sawtooth network. Let me explain this to you. So let me take an example of All right, let me just briefly walk you through all. So this is a sawtooth network. There's 6 copies. When we say that there are 6 nodes running, there's 6 copies of this infrastructure that are running on 6 different AWS instances, and these are instances hosted across the US, so they're not all on the same site. So that in terms of redundancy and stuff like that, they're hosted on separate locations on the AWS side. Let's take an example of a user. Let's say a user is trying to complete a challenge, and he's got one more card that he needs to finish. He goes over to the public auction, finds a card for like $5, and he decides to do a buy now there. So this is the user coming in on the Panini application, which is your website or your mobile app. And once he hits the buy now, that's when the blockchain transaction gets triggered on. So the blockchain side, if you look at this, the Sawtooth network has a client that then transmits the data through a REST API onto a validator. So this validator is where we check whether that card that he's purchased exists on the network or not. Once that validation is done at this section, the next set is to run a transfer operation. So all of our business logic to do with minting, transfer of users cards, or to do with new user creation, all of those resides in the transaction processor. Now this is the same or synonymous to a smart contract that you would have on a public network. And for the Sawtooth network or a enterprise-grade private network, the transaction processor is your equivalent of a smart contract. Once the smart contract is executed for the transfer, where now the challenge card is now transferred over to the buyer, this peer-to-peer network would then replicate this data across all our 6 nodes. So that's how the transfer of data takes place. Now all these 6 nodes have a backup that's done daily, which means that copies of this are preserved. And we've done extensive load testing on it, where we've done a load test of up to 100,000 concurrent users, doing about 20,000 concurrent transactions on the site. And we've noticed that our network goes up to about 6% usage in those scenarios. So with that logic, that's the reason why we have 6 nodes running. And in the future, if there is a higher demand that comes in where we need to spin off new instances of this node, our systems are capable of doing that. So in terms of the question of are 6 nodes good enough? Yes, these are perfectly fine for a private network like ours, and we've tested them extensively for a much higher scale of users coming in and transactions coming in than what we see on a day-to-day basis. And our server capacities are well within the limits. So in that sense, there's no problem in terms of scaling it and whether this infrastructure supports our current infrastructure or not. And in case there is a failure of any sort, where in terms of communication from one node to the other, if there is a failure of communication, we have a robust retry mechanism which works in the background, and then in case of a failure, it retries that, and then once the transactions are completed, the sync is also completed onto the nodes. So that way we ensure that there's 0 failures on the network itself. So this is on the first question. The second question that we had coming in was in terms of the smart contract itself, and where does the smart contract exist and things like that. So I've partially answered this question, but let me just get into a little more detail. So again, the transaction processor here, this is our equivalent of a smart contract. This is where our business logic, a smart contract is basically your business logic in terms of if there is a transfer, if there's a minting of an asset, if there's a new user creation, etc., etc. So all that logic for us in terms of the Sawtooth network resides on the transaction processor side. And for a permission network like ours, which is the private network, there is no visible smart contract which is available. The transaction processor itself takes care of that part of the processing. We just need to write in the logic for minting, transfer, etc., and that gets executed over here. So to say that there is no visible smart contract, but I think some of your questions were also around the Sawtooth Explorer. I think that part will also get clear with the next question. The next question that we had was on why don't we have a Sawtooth Explorer. So we do have a Sawtooth Explorer. One of the main reasons why we have not made that public is because the current Sawtooth Explorer lacks search abilities. I think one of the most important things, if you go to an Etherscan or the other networks, is the ability for users to search certain specific transactions. The Explorer here does not have that ability. But what we've done is we've taken a few sample transactions and then tried to explain how the Sawtooth Explorer works. Give me 1 second while I pull that up. Yeah, so this is an example of some of the live transactions that we took from our production site and wanted to show it to you all. So the Sawtooth Explorer holds your transactions, your batches, and the blocks. And if I go into batches, this is how they come up. So if you see this Explorer, it shows you the most recent 50 transactions, and then you have the ability to click next and then go to the next few transactions. As and when there are new transactions that come up, these get overridden, and you have the latest one appearing on top. The main issue is that you don't have a search on this one, so that way you won't be able to perform search actions. We also have the blocks that are a part of the Explorer, and we also have the list of transactions. What we've done is we've taken one user. So the first event was that of a user creation. So I think we've taken the example where we've just taken Virtual Alaska's account to see the transaction events coming up over here. So this is an event where a user gets created. You see that there's a nickname here. You have your public key visible over here, the batches public key and the nonce. And over here, if you are able to see this is a create customer event. This is the payload information that gets transferred. And you have the customer's public key, and then you have the customer name as well. So this is a transaction showing a customer creation. This is when a new user comes onto the site and creates their blockchain identity. The second transaction that we have is that of a mint. Here's an example of a mint event that takes place on the site. So we're looking at an athlete called Chris Webber. Card gets minted as a part of the Panini NBA Prism. Now this pack was purchased by X user. So we're just showing that transfer event of when the user bought the pack and opened the pack. There's a transfer of ownership from this signer key is the public key for Panini, and then from here there was a transfer of the product to this new user. So this is the payload showing the transfer. And then this card was then sold by this user to the new buyer for $6. So I'm just showing you this example because this is a live one from the site. So this shows you the details of the transfer itself. This is the seller's public key. This is your buyer's public key. And then there was a transfer of ownership at a $6 price. The next event where this same buyer, the new buyer, then sold it for a higher price at a later date. This is the transfer event for that same buyer. This is the buyer's public key. And this product then gets transferred for a different price, and this is the transfer event. So yes, this exists, but one of the main reasons why we've been holding back is because of the lack of search, things like that on the site. However, what we're planning to do is, because there's been a lot of requests for getting this on the site, we will be looking at this in our product roadmap. So by July or early August, we should have this Explorer with a few additions in terms of customizations that go onto the site as well. So this will be something that is a part of our product roadmap now. So in about a month or a little later, we should have this Explorer launched with additional capabilities. Of course, we don't want to launch it without the search, so at least that will be something that we add on with, and then trying to see what deep links are necessary for it. So this is something that we'll be adding on to our site. So yeah, those were some of the questions that I wanted answered, and then I also want to switch to some of the upcoming features that we have. Yeah, some of the feature roadmap. I think there was a teaser that was rolled out maybe a couple of weeks ago about a revamp of our blockchain site. So the current blockchain site coexists with on the Panini America website, where you have the Panini store, the Panini rewards, the customer support, and along with that we have the blockchain part as well. What we're trying to do is take that out, give the blockchain site its own entity. It'll still be an offshoot from PaniniAmerica.net, but this will be a completely different site which houses just the blockchain site with a revamped UI. So we're going with a black theme, and along with that we have a ton of features that get added on the revamp site. I think these will be something that you all would definitely like. So on the collection side itself, we will have the ability where you can start visiting other users' profiles. The other users would, of course, have the ability to decide what the others see, since this is again a private network. So we would give the users the option of what you need other users to see, but yeah, we can go ahead and explore other users' collections, open packs, etc. That's something that we have. Completion of your card sets. This is something that is a good addition that we'll be having on. This would also give the users the ability to see cards I have. So, almost like your checklist that gets updated as a part of your card set itself. So your cards I have, the cards I want will be grayed out, and then you can also see all cards. So that's something that will be a part of the new site. I'm not going to go into all the features. We have a ton of new features coming up as a part of this one. The second one that we have, which will be going on sometime soon, early July, would be your challenge boarding. I think this is something that a lot of users have been asking for when there's a challenge that is nearing completion and the auction time probably ends after the challenge date is completed. So we would have a warning that goes on the site. If you are looking at placing a bid either in the public auction or the public gallery, you would have a warning that says that there might be a chance that this challenge is ending much before the user can accept your bid. So it's just a caution to the users, and with that caution, the user can decide whether they want to go ahead with participating in that auction or not. So that's one other feature that's going on pretty quickly. Apart from these, we have a few other things on supply regulation. We have the NFT burning feature, and then the NFT staking feature, which we're working on. The rewards for these are still getting worked on, but the features are getting prepped up. So these are something that's bound to hit early October. So these are a few other features, and then the blockchain explorer, like we spoke of, that will be something that we release out in July. So we're debating on a fully customized explorer versus customizing a few things on the current sort of explorer and then releasing out. So we might have a phased launch where we probably launch with basic features of what you saw on today's screenshots. Then we go and add on a few new things so that those get enhanced out. So that's a few of the other features that we have in the pipeline for you all. I guess that's pretty much the time that we had for the quick 30-minute tech connect that we had for you all today. Like I said, I know we weren't able to get through all of the questions, but we have those on the AMA section. So I try and get through some of those questions in the upcoming days and weeks, and try to get those out of the way as well. So, Brett, Austin, is there anything that you all want to add on to today's discussion?
No, I mean, I think you kind of touched on everything, and we appreciate you coming on and kind of giving everybody little look behind the curtain here on everything your team's working on, with us, and I know we had an issue where it's only allowing 50 people to view at a time, so we'll probably look to maybe do this on a different platform.
Right. Let me just go through this. Just going to see if there's any other questions.
Didn't really see any. I was kind of looking through. I think everybody was just mostly making comments towards everything you were showing.
All right, guys. I think there's no word from the rest. So I guess that's pretty much it from our side. And for sure, I think we want to have a bunch of tech connects with you all. And my apologies that we haven't been able to get through all of the questions, but these are some things that I'll definitely try and answer specifically in those groups as a part of our effort to get through more questions. So we try and make this a regular feature, at least have it once a month, so that we can have this as a regular feature on the site.
Deal. Thanks everybody for coming.
Right, but thank you very much, everyone.